I want to ask you something. How many times have you tried to stop drinking? Not cut back, stop completely. Maybe it was a Monday morning resolution. Maybe it was after a night you're not that proud of. Maybe it was the look on someone's face, your partner, your kids, and you made a promise to yourself that this time was different, and then it wasn't. And here you are. I'm not asking that question to make you feel bad at all. I'm asking it because I want you to understand something that almost nobody in the recovery world is talking about. Something that explains scientifically, not motivationally, why every attempt you've made has not stuck. Because it's not what you think. It's not your willpower. It's not your character. It's not how much you love your family or how badly you want to change. It's a program running in your subconscious mind right now at full speed. And until you deal with that program at the level it actually operates, nothing else will work. It's just the way we're made, not long term and not permanently. So stay with me, because what I'm about to explain is going to reframe everything for you. Okay, let's talk about your brain. We have two operating systems. Most people don't know this, or if they do, they don't really quite understand what it means. The first is your conscious mind. That's the part of you that's watching this right now. The part that thinks, reasons, plans, decides. That's the I'm going to stop drinking part. That's the willpower mind. Now, here's something that will change how you see yourself forever. Your conscious mind processes approximately 40 bits of information per second. 40. Your subconscious mind processes 40 million bits of information per second. That's no exaggeration. That's just the way we are made. So when you're sitting at a dinner party at 6:30 and everyone else around you is having a drink and you've decided you're not going to drink tonight, what's happening in that moment? Your conscious mind, your 40 bits a second, is saying, I don't want this. I've decided I'm done. Your subconscious mind, your 40 million bits a second, is running a program that's been there for years, possibly decades, that says, in so many words, this is how I relax, this is how I connect, this is how I cope, this is who you are. Program doesn't argue with you, it doesn't negotiate, it just runs quietly, continuously, at a speed your conscious mind just cannot. And at some point in that evening, not because you're weak, not because you don't care enough, at some point the program wins, because it always wins. That's what it's designed to do. This is the mismatch. And this mismatch is why willpower, no matter how determined you are, will never be the answer to a subconscious problem. Now, how did this program get there in the first place? This is important because understanding how it got installed tells you exactly what it's going to take to change it. There are two primary ways subconscious programs get installed. The first is in early childhood, actually from the last trimester of pregnancy through to approximately 7 years of age. Human beings spend in that stage, their full time in a brainwave state called theta, right? Theta is something similar to hypnosis, but just before we fall, as we're falling asleep, actually, we move into theta. But as kids, as children, up to 7, we're in that full time. So that's by default. And when we're in theta, the door to the subconscious is wide open. There's no critical filter. There's no analysis. So everything in the kid's environment goes straight in. So by observation, by impression, the emotions around them, the beliefs of the people raising them, their experiences, their watching, observing their parents do this, do that, do the other. The meaning they make of those experiences all goes in as subconscious programming in that age bracket. These programs get installed at a deep level, and they're hardwired. They last us through life, or they take us through. Now, the second way, and this is where it's so important to understand this, particularly where alcohol is concerned. The second way that subconscious programs are formed and installed is through repetition, right? It's just, think back to it when you first started drinking. Whatever age that was, and for whatever reason that was, it made you feel better, didn't it? Makes us all feel better, either more confident, more popular, to be like your friends, or may have been going through a stressful situation. You relax. It's just how you cope with the situation. But whatever it was, when you first start drinking, whatever age, whatever reason, it makes us feel better. life's better. And what happens is you go back for more. And we go back for more, don't we? You might feel a bit average the next day, but we go back for more. Now, it's that repetition that's doing something in your subconscious. It was forming and solidifying, installing a subconscious program that in plain language, the program says, when I drink, I feel better. When I drink, I can cope. When I drink, I'm okay. I'm happy. Life's great. Now, that's what I said earlier. Once a program's in your subconscious, it's hardwired. It doesn't go away on its own. It doesn't respond to logic. It doesn't respond to consequences. It doesn't respond to promises or resolutions or really wanting things to be different. It just does its job. It runs at 40 million bits a second. It's a bit like driving a car. The program, you get in the car every time. You just drive, don't you? You don't think about it. It's a program that you've got in relation to driving your car that runs at 40 million bits a second that gets you from A to B every time you get in the car. It's the program that's driving your drinking. Now, this is why it just runs. This is why you'd be standing in the bottle shop having a conversation with yourself. And why the hell am I here? I said I wasn't going to do this, but you find yourself walking out with alcohol, wine, or whatever it is in your hand, don't you? The program is doing exactly what programs do. Now, I want you to understand something that you might feel confronting, but I want you to hear it as a relief, not criticism. Every approach to alcohol recovery that is built on the conscious mind, willpower, or habit tracking, or accountability, or mindfulness, journaling, telling yourself the reasons why, all of it is working at the wrong level. Not because these things are worthless. Some of them are really valuable, but some of them help people manage. But realistically, manage is the word, because none of them remove the program, the subconscious program that's causing, that keeps the drink back in your hand. And a program that is not removed, literally uninstalled, keeps running. Think about what that looks like in practice, right? You do really well for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, you're proud of yourself. People around you notice, you start to think maybe this time is different. Then one evening, a hard day, a social event, a moment of stress, bang, and the pull comes back. Not as a thought, not as a decision, as a pull, a visceral pull that seems to come out of nowhere. That's the program. That's your subconscious in action. And the reason it comes back, even after a little while of not drinking, is that it was never removed. It was suppressed. And you white-knuckled it. You did your best. You counted every hour, probably. But suppression is not removal. A program that is suppressed is still there, waiting. This is why the relapse rate for conventional approaches is so high. The failure rate on it is well over 90%. It's not because people aren't trying hard enough, not at all. It's because the method doesn't match where the problem lives. So what does work? The answer is you have to go to the same level where the program lives. In other words, you have to go to the subconscious. And you have to do what was done when the program was installed in the first place. You have to use the same mechanism in reverse. Remember how the program got installed? Repetition in a receptive brainwave state with emotional weight behind it. That same mechanism, theta state, is precisely how you will uninstall it and precisely how you install exactly what you do want. So not managing the behavior, not fighting the urge, removing the program at the source. When the program is gone, the pull goes with it. Not suppressed, gone completely. I've spent decades developing and refining a process. It's called advanced subconscious programming. And what I can tell you from hundreds of people who've been through this is that when you work at the right level, the change is not a struggle. It's effortless. It's quiet, it's clean, it's permanent. I think of Susanna, a mum of 3, grandmother of 8, lives in Tasmania. She struggled with alcohol for over 20 years. She'd tried everything. You've probably tried as well. She came through this process a bit over 3 years ago now. Hasn't had a drink since. Not at all. She hasn't even thought about. And not because she's exceptional, it's because the program, or programs I should say, were removed. Now that's what's possible when you work at the right level. All right, so now if this is landing for you, I want to invite you to take the next step. I've built a community, especially for people who are ready to understand this at a deeper level and start working with the process. It's called the Sober Overnight Community, and it lives on the school platform. When you join, you get access to the Sober Overnight book, the book I wrote, which explains everything and walks you through the full science of this and the method in detail. You get the community of people, other people, real people who are on this exact journey, have gone through this process successfully, and you can chat with them, you can ask them questions, and you get to start seeing through your own experience what becomes possible when you approach this from the right direction. The link is in the description here. It's the first thing there. Go and have a look. And look, if you've watched this so far, I want you to hear something. You haven't failed at all. Every time you tried to stop and it didn't hold, that was not your failure. That was you using a conscious tool on a subconscious problem. And that's like trying to fix the software on your laptop by polishing the screen. You weren't failing, you were just using the wrong. The program in your subconscious was never yours in the first place. It was installed through repetition, through circumstance, through years of reaching for something that gave you relief when you needed it most. It made complete sense at the time. It makes complete sense now that it's still running, but it can be removed permanently through this process. That's what this channel is about. Every video I make here is designed to help you understand the mechanism and to show you what becomes possible when you finally work at the level where the change actually happens. So if you found this useful, please subscribe, because